So Linda wrote down her dream. This is her dream that she wrote down. Whoops, I got a little bit of water on it, sorry. This is what it looks like. She got up today and wrote it down. Another dream, tornadoes, but we called it wolves. I remember my dream too. Open door becomes running in from marshland. Missing to what's WTS?
I was just trying to write it down before I forgot it.
On tall pole. Gray hollow name tag.
Yes.
Sweater.
Yes.
And this is how you write the dream down. What's that? The cat?
Cat.
Was he on that thing?
No, he was like on a pole that had wheels.
Okay.
And then he had two sweaters, and the name tag said Greg Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I woke up.
The name tag said Greg Hollow.
My
Did you
dad had
remember in the dream it said Greg Hollow?
Correct.
Name
Next green.
tag, sweaters. What's that?
Oh, I was checking the sweaters. Oh, no, we have to check the shelters.
What's that mean?
Okay, short story short.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I had a dream and I woke up. And I told my mom.
What's that though?
So inside my dream, I had a dream about my cat Smokey. I ran to my mom and said, "Can we please find Smokey? Can we please find Smokey? Smokey called the shelters." And then my cat comes running.
Oh, cat shelters.
Yeah, cat shelters.
Okay.
Then my cat Smokey came running across the marsh.
Yeah, because we've been talking about
marshland.
Skinny Midnight.
I don't know. I always have dreams.
Because winter's coming.
Maybe.
For Skinny Midnight, yeah. All right, we'll talk about it.
Yes. Then Smokey comes in, and then all of a sudden he went in the closet. And then he came out, and he was on like some big pole that had wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of, I was pushing him, and then he kind of went like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at his name tag, and I said, "Mom, he has an owner." And then it said Greg Hollow, and then I woke up.
Boy, you really remember your dreams. This is good. You need to kind of start binding these and put a date at the top.
Yeah, then rewrite it a little bit better.
Pretty cool. I gotta go.
I think I had two.
We're at 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 5,989 miles on the odometer. It is a Monday, November 11th of 2024. Welcome back to the Please Subscribe show, the Cole Spivey YouTube channel. It's really what the channel has mutated to at the present moment. This is actually my second YouTube channel. My first one is Pigeon 1, which is kind of on the underground. This is just the one with my name, but I have 2 or 3 others with my name as well that are under different emails that have like, you know, nobody even really knows about, but it's under my name. But the one that's on this particular channel has the black and white photo that establishes. That was my actor headshot photo from 2000. I think 2001, and it was done in Los Angeles by a French photographer. That's all. I don't remember her name or anything. She gave me, I believe, a contact sheet. I don't know if she gave me the negatives or not. I may have bought them at the time, but I just used them to reproduce about 500 of them, and that's the black and white photo that's on the face of it. There's the butterfly. All right, we're headed off to delivery. All right, first delivery is 2.7 miles, 9 minutes. We'll arrive at 6:08 p.m. And yesterday we did 52.6 miles. All right, there's Casa Manana, which was the night before Christmas. Is going to open on November 29th, and then actually it's going to close on December 23rd. I must have said it was going to open on December 23rd. Yeah, it's closing on December 23rd. And then the other one, which is Tuna Christmas, Jason Williams, I think, and Joe Sears. One of them's a Texan, one's an Oklahoman. I think Jason Williams is actually a Texan. But they wrote the show, and Joe Sears was nominated for a Tony for Best Best Comedic Performance. And he didn't get it, though, but he was nominated. And it's Tuna Christmas coming up. Wow, that's great. I really like that. Wow, that is great. It's a great, like, blue. It's like blue and then goes into gray. And then look, the red right here is nice. We're going off of Hewlin Street, but look at that. Wow, that's really cool. Awesome. Yeah, I really like that. Wow. Oh, wow, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's really, oh, I like that right there. Yeah, that's good. The red right here, going into the blue. Cool. Far out, man. Wow. Wow. That's great. Look at that. Cool. Blue right there. That's a great blue. I'm gonna leave it exactly as I see it. It's great. Wow. All right, so we're headed west, and as I always say when we're headed west, the oddballs are on the left. That means the odd numbers will be on this side, right over here. It's really pretty, though. It'd make a great painting. If you're a painter, you could do a still frame and just start painting. And that, look right here, with the stoplight right there. It'd be part of the painting if you made it real. That would just be great. You don't have to change anything. All right. We're gonna do a little mailman trick here. I'm pretty sure it's this dude. He's always getting the same stuff. People are creatures of habit, if anything. That shows. Yeah, I'll have to check something real quick. Yeah, it's an even number, sorry. So when you're headed west, evens are on the right. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. I got the address wrong, but now I have it right. There we go. It's one with the red door. So the guy was, I don't know, it didn't really have much of a word conversation because, well, I said, you purchase it online because I can purchase it on our website, if you know the secret restaurant I'm talking about. But he was like, yeah, because that's what I usually say. I was like, oh, you got it online? And then he was like, yeah, right, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks. And he's like, I guess, I don't know if he was trying to say, because I was just dropping off food. Yeah, those conversations are kind of weird. You wouldn't really hear them in the cinema. You might in a documentary, maybe. It's where people, it's like nonverbals, like, yeah, that's what I heard. Anyway, I don't know. But, that's not going to make a lot of sense, but I really don't care. The amount of stuff that I've seen that makes sense doesn't really go a really far ways anymore nowadays. But there's things that make sense. It's just some conversations are just short run, kind of nonverbal. Something like that. I don't know. I guess maybe he thought maybe he purchased it like by phone, but I think he was purchasing online. I don't know. Just had to cheese it. Even though the hamburger or cheeseburger sat in the refrigerator overnight, when I ate it, it was very tasty. I enjoyed it. I think it had mushrooms on it and cheese from a secret barbecue restaurant. That's one of the best barbecue restaurants in the world, probably. It was very good. It was very tasty. It was better than the chicken sandwich from Wingstop. Although I do appreciate the chicken sandwiches at Wingstop. We were discussing last night if the chicken sandwiches at Wingstop are better than Chick-fil-A, even though Chick-fil-A specializes in the chicken sandwich. And then I brought up the attention of the old school Jack in the Box Chicken Supreme. This is old school. I don't know if they still have it, but that was one of my favorite chicken sandwiches when I was younger. It was the Chicken Supreme at Jack in the Box. My parents used to give it to me when either I was injured or didn't feel well, or sometimes they just give it to me if I asked for a certain chicken sandwich. But yeah, the hamburger was pretty good. I hadn't had a hamburger in a while. I think the last hamburger I had was probably maybe a month ago at Whataburger, and I ate it. I believe it was just hamburger. It wasn't with cheese, and then it kind of made me sleepy, as opposed to the other hamburger, which I guess it maybe gave me some energy. Oh, Curly's! Look at this. They're going full-on Christmas lights. Curly's, get yourself a chili dog and some custard. All right, next delivery, 0.6 miles, 4 minutes. We will arrive at 6:32 p.m. This road is called St. Donovan. All right, next delivery, 4 miles, 13 minutes. We'll arrive at 7:23. There goes the Cybertruck. Headed to a road called Alston over there by 8th Avenue. Pretty nice neighborhood, I guess. crossing Allen. So we're headed south, and what I've noticed a lot of times you're going south or you're going west, the odd numbers in many cases are going to be on the left-hand side. So this one, I believe, ends in a 9. So to the left-hand side. Pass the odd number to the left-hand side. Pass the odd number to the left-hand side. There it is. All right, excuse me. I just ate some beef jerky. Okay, the spicy jerky, 69 cents at 7-Eleven. I did get a hold. Well, I got a hold of the Into the Wild. Jon Krakauer is his name. He spells it Jon. It's a good book. Probably gonna look to see if I can buy it. It looks like a really good one. I read the first. Well, I haven't got through the whole sample. It's a pretty long sample. So when I downloaded the sample, I think I did it on Apple Books. It may be an easier purchase. I will look on Amazon Kindle or the Amazon whatever books or whatever to see if I can download it there. We got skateboarders over here. Just give me a second. I'm gonna try to pull the little rail slide. It's Fire Station Park, busted. Gotta pay respect to the skateboarders. It'd probably make a good documentary, just that little Fire Station Park. There's a palm reader right here. She's actually really cool. She loves our pizza and everything. Yeah, I got in touch with the book. So the Jon Krakauer Into the Wild, which is about Christopher McCandless's life. And it's pretty detailed. It's pretty spooky. The sample reads really well. So sometimes I do buy a book and then it gets kind of boring. One of the ones that I bought that was kind of tough to get through, but I thought was a pretty good book, was the Chris Kyle bestseller about American Sniper. I read the sample, really liked it, and then I got into the book and I was like, this is very detailed, and it took a little bit of work to get through it. It's not a bad book though for a sniper. But Jon Krakauer, his story is a little different. He is a journalist. He did write the article called Death of an Innocent, which was about the 1992 death, circa August 1992, of Christopher McCandless. And by the way, if in the vlog I accidentally may have gave him the wrong year. He was actually born in 1968, Christopher McCandless. I believe February 12th. So I'll have to check that too. Sometimes I'll do a jump cut if I mess up, if I get to it. But yeah, I like it. So I might purchase that book and read it. I think the last book I read was, I got it off of Apple Books. It was No Country for Old Men, which is I think is a great masterpiece. A great writer too, one of our greatest writers. But anyway, I'm drawing a blank right now. I guess for some apparent reason. Cormac, some say Cormac McCarthy. That was the last book I got to read. So this will, if I get Into the Wild, then I'll be able to read that book. And it's about his adventures, and he's kind of painted, at least by Jon Krakauer. And now there is another story, or another journalist. He's actually a documentarian that wrote, or he didn't write. He filmed a documentary called Call of the Wild. And I'll have to do some research on him, but he challenges the point of view of the death of Christopher McCandless, how it happened, and kind of goes against the current of the modern day journalist. So Call of the Wild is a documentary too that looks like a good one. I think I may have seen that. I'll have to find out the filmmaker on that one. But Jon Krakauer comes from mountain climbing experience. There was a thing called Mountain Madness out, I believe, in California, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to do more research to make sure. But anyway, they were a group of people that train people to climb mountains, in a, almost like, dangerous kind of thing. But they were a group, and they challenged other mountain climbers to go further and further. So he witnessed, I think, 8 people dying on Mount Everest. That was through this group called Mountain Madness. And he was one of the survivors, or it seems to be he was, or at least he wrote about it. I don't know if he was at base camp, but it was mostly, I think, due to it killed, or it trapped, I think, 8 mountain climbers on Mount Everest. And he wrote about that, and it's called Into the Thin Air. I don't know if they've done a documentary on it yet, or they made a movie about it. They might, or they may have. But that's about Jon Krakauer. So Jon Krakauer found out about the story about Christopher McCandless from a magazine, I believe, called Outdoor. Or he published it in Outdoor, one of the two. There's some mixed stuff I've gotten online, but he did, I think he published on Outdoor magazine The Death of an Innocent, which was in '92. How he found out about it, I'm not for sure. If they sent him the information, because he was already writing the book Into the Thin Air.
The magazine that Jon Krakauer published in was called Outside. It's been a magazine since 1977.
If they sent him the information, because he was already writing the book Into the Thin Air. So he's already a journalist or a writer. Somehow he got a hold of the information, explored it, thought, hey, this will make a good book. And then he just imagined it from there and did research. I think he went out and he went to Alaska, I think. And he interviewed people. I think it seems that way in the book. Some people were interviewed in the book, in the opening part of it. So the book looks pretty exciting. The movie was a possible Best Picture too. It was a Sean Penn directed movie that I think Sean Penn's pretty proud of it. But it looked like it was done with Sean Penn took the take of Jon Krakauer. So from his point of view, about Alexander Supertramp and him being a drifter and hitchhiking his way all the way to Alaska. And they kind of paint him as a free-spirited, flying by the seat of his pants kind of hiker that only took like a 10-pound bag of rice or a 5-pound bag of rice or something like that. Maybe a 30-pound bag of rice. I don't know exactly how much rice, but he wasn't traveling with a whole lot and not a big pack. And he was just kind of drifting among the wilderness, which is pretty risque to do. I don't know how many adventures that Christopher McCandless went out on and then came back, but they had found pieces of board that he had written on. So his journal, he journaled very strangely. They have actually found like pieces of wood that he wrote on, like a message that he would, and then he also, he used a journal. So he did write towards the end of his life when he became weak. And they have 3 different ways that he thought he died. One way was a poisonous berry. Another way was mold on this plastic. He was keeping some of the berries that were edible, that were fine to eat, because he knew a lot about surviving in the wild. But the mold got on the actual plastic because he used the same plastic, like a Ziploc bag or something like that. And that mold possibly could have got him. Sean Penn's take was, as a director, was that he ate a poisonous vine, or it was like a berry. It was, that was one of the takes. He probably had to go with something. And then, of course, the other one was just, which was one I haven't heard of, was the fact that he just ate protein. So he was shooting a rabbit or shooting not skunks, but he may have, but squirrels or rabbits or whatever. And he was only eating that, which can lead to a protein buildup, which can cause the legs to become kind of weak. That was a take on it too. And he was too weak just to go out and hike and forage other berries and stuff. He did leave a note, so a note was found on the Magic Bus, which is bus 142. It was a Fairbanks transit bus. There were only 3 that were brought out there in the 60s for the purpose of rebuilding roads in Alaska. Now they also have addressed the mines. So there were Alaskan mine or Fairbanks mine or something like that. Denali mine, I think the Denali mine. But regardless, there were only 3 buses. And one rumor is that the 142 bus had a broken rear axle. That I don't know for sure, but they did remove the engine out of it. And they did leave it there for many years. So even after his death, it was left there for almost like 20 years until 2020. A Chinook, which is a military helicopter, it's a CH-47, did airlift it to Healy, to a museum called the Museum of the North, which is in Alaska. It's an Alaskan museum. Whether Adam the Woo goes by and looks at it, I don't know. But that Magic Bus, which is Christopher McCandless's shelter that he lived in for about 90 days until he passed away of starvation, it was airlifted there in 2020 to keep other hikers from crossing a dangerous river. The Shoshana River was on the side of it. I think the dangerous river was known as the Teklanika River, which has killed 2 hikers, one in 2010, one in 2019. The 2010 hiker was from Switzerland, and I believe her last name was Ackerman. It was Claire Ackerman was her name. She was drowned. She cable crossed and took a rope and tied it to the cable and tried to go across the Teklanika River. Boom, went right underneath the river and it drowned her. Same exact thing happened to another hiker who was female from Belarus, which is around the Russian. She did the same thing, tried to cross the river and went underneath the river and it drowned her. She was tied to a cable too, exactly the same. They both died. They decided to move the van. So they airlifted it to Healy, where it is today. So no adventurers will try to go out there and take photos of it or whatever. It's really hard to find. Now they do have the destination on Wikipedia, so it's still there. I don't know if they left a plaque or whatever. It looks like there's cabins and stuff around it from what I've seen on Google Earth. Anyway, looks like a good book, and I'm doing more research on it.